I am the one person I have to spend all of my time with on earth. I need to enjoy my company. And part of that enjoyment vests with me living my truth. So I think it's the love that has kept me going, the spaces that I choose to move in, the people that I choose to be in conversation with, you know, and the work that I do in terms of being of service to others who need the work that I do. So I think that's what keeps me going. Eh? It's the fact that I spend all of my time with myself. I'm the one constant in my life, and I need to love myself. I need to enjoy my company. And part of me, a big part of me, all of me is about Landa. So that's what keeps me going, or what kept me going a lot of the time as well.
So speaking of the service that you provide, we were talking earlier because you just come from a talk at UJ on a panel, and you were talking about how there was a young person in the panel talking about the kind of experiences. And I wonder what, you know, your advice is to someone who's kind of thinking their identity through and doesn't yet have the language for it. You know, what do you say to someone like that? I mean, we all have like sisters and brothers here, you know, like how do we have those conversations around identity even when one doesn't have the language for it?
Yeah, so I think it's important to be very affirming, to just be there and you know, like you say, I mean, primary school, you're figuring yourself out. High school, you're figuring yourself out. Then you get into the world, you know, and the world sort of, you have to find your place in that world. So I think it's important for us who have an idea, who have the language, who have the knowledge, who have access to resources, simple things like being able to find articles online that speak to issues of gender diversity and sexual diversity. I think it's our duty and it's our calling to share those, you know, and also share our lives. Like I think I said to you outside, my life has been hectic. You read in the book. But the one thing that has been amazing is my transition journey. So I don't get to have such a beautiful story in terms of experiences, in terms of getting my transition together and not use it for the greater good. And I think that's why I actually went into the consultancy, especially in education spaces, institutions of higher learning, because the tools are there. You've got your counselors there, you've got your psychologists. They just need to be tailored to be able to deal with the needs of students who present as diverse in terms of their gender and sexuality. So I feel a lot of work still needs to go into the primary and high school space, and I was also part of a symposium, and we were looking at expanding the LO curriculum to include sexual orientation and gender identity as part of learning life orientation at school level.
Yeah,
because I mean, this young person who was sharing today was sharing how the principal and the teachers would traumatize her, you know, ostracize her, you know. She couldn't exist in a school that states in their policy that we are
equality,
an equal space for everyone and a safe space for everyone. So there's a lot of we need to be more visible. That's another reason why I do what I do. I need to be more visible. Young black boys who are forming their identity need to know that there was once a Landa Mabenge who wrote a book called Becoming Him, and they can read that book and actually become who they need to be. So I think it's important for us who know the language, who know the resources to share that information, so that those who are coming behind us don't necessarily have to battle as much as we had to battle.
And how did you, I mean, growing up, you know, in Umtata and P, like how, and going through the world as you did, how did you come to the language and understanding of, you know, of gender and sexuality and where you were in that spectrum?
So sexuality was kind of like easy because my mother would always blurt out if my child were to turn out gay, I'd kill them. So I knew there was something there. So that one was easier to, and I mean, even going to the church, we went to the Seventh-day Adventist church. Didn't have a choice. So the conversations in that church, women can't sleep with women, and I was like, so that was easy to figure out. But in terms of gender, it took me getting into the employment space because I didn't know. I actually ended up Googling, what does it mean to feel like a man but you're born in a woman's body? And that's when Google saw me. And that's why I got linked to the sexologist, the triangle, and then I was subsequently, so that I didn't know the language. I didn't have an idea of what could be going on with me. Because even as a butch lesbian, I still didn't feel complete. There was something amiss, you know? So yeah, I only learned about it when I was actually working already.
Okay.
Because there's no visibility there. I mean, even then I read a book by Shares Bono. There were no South African sort of narratives that spoke to what I was feeling, especially black narratives.
Okay.
So I went into Google and that's how I got the information that I got.